most of you came from great distances. It didn't go unnoticed. It's really, really appreciated. So first and foremost, thank you all for being here. I also want to thank specifically Greg and Susan for this rehearsal dinner. There's a lot that goes into these things. I know firsthand a little bit, but I know they've been working on this for a long time. So I guess my first toast is to Greg and Susan. So anyway, for those that haven't met me, my name is Scott Jackson. I'm the FOB. I'm okay if you call me the FOB the rest of the weekend. I've earned it.
With that one especially.
With this one, maybe not with you, but with this one. And I'll tell you right up front, this is not my forte. I was getting emotional, as Courtney can attest, in the hotel room, just kind of reading over this once or twice. I started getting pretty emotional. So at some point, we're just going to have to get through this together. So really, as I was thinking through kind of what I wanted to say tonight, the thought did cross my mind that writing a Father of the Bride speech is a lot like our children. No video. Is a lot like our children. They're a lot more fun in the conceiving. A lot less fun in the delivery. That crossed my mind last night. I also, I wish you weren't videoing.
I'm for sure
I'll
after that.
When it comes to both of my kids, I have a tendency to get pretty emotional, whether it's happy, sad, whatever. The emotions are always right there on the surface. So I'm just going to start with Travis. And as I thought kind of through what I wanted to say about Travis, it's not lost on me that the wedding is tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet, and so I'm trying to be a little bit more careful with what I say. The last thing I want to do is scare you. I mean, we've kind of got a live one on the hook here. And to be honest, Missy and I are pretty tired, and we really need this to happen. So, with that said, I've kind of tempered and pulled back on the reins a little bit here, but and I think most people, the people that do know me, know that I'm a research guy. I'll research, and I can tell you, if we're at this point now, I can tell you Travis has been fully vetted. There's no doubt about it. I mean, and really, most of the vetting took place early on. What?
That's funny.
But I can tell you, over the last couple of years, earlier on especially, I talked to a lot of people. I didn't realize we had so many mutual friends, but the Pratts are well connected within Tallowood. It didn't take long. You go to Tallowood, and within 5 minutes I was like, hey, can we talk about Travis? And it's not good. Like, oh, is your daughter dating? And I was like, yeah. Generally speaking, their first question was, wait, Tyler or Travis?
That's a major.
I don't know Tyler. I don't know Tyler, so I don't know what that meant. But generally speaking, when I said Travis, they were like, oh, okay. But I can tell you, with this is pretty tame compared to what I But I can tell you, I mean, the more people I talk to, the more people, that I, had lunch with and went through it. Should I be concerned? Should I not? It dawned on me that there were three things that every single one were saying consistently across the board, to the point where I was kind of like, maybe I should just stop asking these questions. But one, they would always kind of like, I don't know what kind of hushed voice said, like, you do know that they're Baylor all day, every day. They all went to Baylor, and I was like, yeah, I knew that, but it's not like they went to Texas, right? So I was okay with that. Generally speaking, they had very good things to say about Tyler. I mean, I had that backwards. About Travis. They didn't go into a lot of details, but they said, basically you have nothing to worry about. The one thing that impressed me the most, though, that every single person I spoke to, without fail, raved about the Pratt family. That's where they wanted to spend their time. The Pratt family, if Taylor is lucky enough to marry into that family, you should count your blessings and quit asking questions. So I already gave one toast to Greg and Susan, but my second toast go to Greg and Susan for raising a son that my daughter has chosen to spend the rest of her life with. So thank you. So, did I steal your line or what?
No, it's just emotional.
So, I didn't look it up, but at some point in 2018, Travis texted and was like, hey, can I come talk to you guys? And, we kind of knew that was coming. I think I knew it probably within the first couple of months they started dating. He wanted to come over and talk to us. Okay, great. So he came over and we did probably over an hour we spent talking about all things related to marriage. Made sure that we were all on the same page. Once this happens, there's no returns. All sales finalized. Something about a Latin term, no givesies backsies. But towards the end,
both ways.
that's your speech. But towards the end, I don't know if Travis just sensed it wasn't going quite as well as he had hoped, but we got Missy and I were both there, and we kind of got Travis to agree to two things. And I don't even know if Travis remembers this, but in front of all of these witnesses, I thought this was the perfect time to remind everyone. So first, Travis promised that the moment these two get home from their honeymoon, within a week, he's going to come over and take all of Taylor's crap out of it. I don't know if do you remember that?
We're storing your bookcases, so
Okay.
No takesies backsies.
And then second, he also promised, and Taylor will love this, that any and all grandkids will go to A&M.
I don't know if I'm going.
You signed it. I got it on video, so.
I don't know if you remember that. As long as it's not Texas. But anyway, I think as a dad, you hope and pray that your daughter someday will meet her soulmate, someone from a great family, raised with Christian values. And I'm no different. That's exactly what my prayer was. And it has been even before you guys met. I'm not entirely sure when I modified my prayer slightly, but at some point, I also began praying for someone with a 30-foot enclosed trailer that could help me move furniture. So Travis, it is obvious that you are this dad's answered prayer. I know you make my daughter very happy. That makes us happy. We love you. We're excited to have you joining our family. But don't forget the no givesies backsies. Okay. So let me move into say a few things about Taylor. And I will say that I initially had a lot of pretty funny things.
They were good. They were really good.
They were a funny story. You agree, right?
I agree.
My wife disagreed, thought they were inappropriate.
More inappropriate than.
I'm going to leave the funny stories to probably this table over here and this table over here. But I can still vividly remember the day you were born, and the first time they let me hold you. This isn't even the part that was. And I remember thinking, Taylor was the most beautiful baby I had ever seen. And I know every parent in here thinks their baby is the prettiest and the most beautiful, but I really think if you saw the photos, you would have to agree that this was one beautiful child. And I remember when they discharged us from the hospital, I brought the car around, I helped Missy into the car, I turned around and the nurse was holding the baby, and she handed me this little tiny baby, and she literally said to me, "Good luck," turned around and left. And so I didn't really even know how to hold her. They said something about a football, and I just remember thinking, I literally cannot believe they're going to let me leave with this baby. Don't they know we don't know the first thing about how to take care of her? I didn't know how to put her in the car seat. And I had read several books by then. It was before the internet. I had bought all these books. We had read all these books, but nothing could have prepared us. That too. Nothing could have prepared us for Taylor, and it's not just Taylor. Any baby at that point. But yeah, specifically Taylor was tougher. We were just so clueless, but the three of us kind of figured it out as we went. Every step of the way, we kind of figured it out. We perfected it to your benefit, but we figured it out as we went along. And with the exception of 2 to 3 years in high school, I really, if I'm being honest, I really think we did a bang-up job. And along the way, I honestly think I learned more from Taylor than she ever learned from me.
It has to be true.
Huh?
Nothing.
I think I did. She has so many incredible qualities that absolutely did not come from me. They used to joke that, well, if it's a good quality, that's from Missy. And if it's a bad quality, oh my gosh, it came from you. But honestly, I mean, she it didn't come from me. There's no question about it. For example, at a very early age, she was amazingly empathetic. Well, I mean, beyond her years, early on. I recall asking her one day, I think it was in elementary school, "Who did you sit with today at lunch?" because that's a traumatic experience at that age. It really is. And she told me that the girl's name, and I didn't recognize that name at all. I was like, who was that? And she said, I just met her today. I asked a couple more questions, and she said, well, I was sitting with all my friends, and I looked over, and can't remember the girl's name, was sitting by herself. And she left her friends, and she went and sat with this girl. I mean, this is in elementary school. That's not from me. That's just God-given. It impressed me. It made an impact on my life. It's something that I've thought about over and over. It's not something I would have done in elementary school. It's not something that I would probably even do through college. I mean, it's just hard to leave your friends and go sit with someone that is by themselves. It's a small example, but I'm telling you, this girl did stuff like that all the time. It's impressive. I think, as parents, you try to give your kids a lot of things, but two things in particular, roots and wings. And I believe I'm pretty good with the roots. However, on the eve of my daughter's wedding, I'm really struggling with the wings. No question. The rehearsal was all fun, but not all fun. Like, who gives her away? I'm like, don't make me say it. But I think over the last several months, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out, how is it that I'm going to be able to walk my daughter, my first daughter, down the aisle and willingly hand her over to another man. And for the record, I'm convinced that a woman came up with that tradition. But earlier this week, I think I just finally figured it out, and it gave me some peace. And I think I'm able to do it because the man I'm handing her off to isn't just the man my daughter wants to live with. He is the man she can't live without. It's been 9,093 days since you were born, Taylor, and it's been an honor and an absolute joy to be your dad the entire time, even the high school years. You will forever be my little doodlebug. So I know that a lot of people want to talk today, some less than others. So I need to close, and I really wanted to provide you one lasting piece of advice on your wedding day, something brilliant that you would forever remember came from your dad on the eve of your wedding. And for years I kept a journal with every time I was a voracious reader, and every time I would come across something that I thought was brilliant, I wrote it down so that I would share it with my daughter someday. I blame it on Harvey, but I can't find that. I just can't. Yeah, exactly. So the best I could come up with on such short notice: never eat anything out of a vending machine with mayonnaise on it. I didn't say it was good, but it's solid, right? So Taylor and Travis, I have many hopes and dreams for you both, but I will leave you with just this one. I hope that many years from now, when you look back on your wedding day, you find that it was the day that you loved each other the least. So everyone get your glasses up. Let's toast to the happy couple. May your marriage be filled with love, happiness, and God's continued blessings. We love you always. I got through it.